to community call number 98. It's October. We are going to start off today with a different version of praise. Instead of dishing praise, we're going to highlight some of the praise that has been dished out in the past 2 weeks. And if you don't know what praise is, this is a really important time for you to actually go into the praise channel on the left-hand side, activate your praise, send praise to somebody that you haven't sent praise to. I want to offer this time for anybody who's new to the community. I think Thinkler, if you have any verbal praise that you'd like to dish, this would be a great time. If you want to thank somebody that brought you to this community, or anybody that you want to verbally praise, I'd like to give you that opportunity now.
Yeah, I'm really new, so I really don't know what it's all about. But I would like to say praise to the community because I really like what you're doing with token engineering. I'm really new to this, but I think what you guys are doing is great.
Yeah, well, welcome to the community. We really appreciate that. So praise is kind of a cultural practice that we have here in the TEC, where we recognize each other's work as we go along throughout the week. So this week we want to, during this community call, we want to highlight some of these. This is the first praise is the praise to Miguel B for hosting the Animation Weekly Sync and reviewing the advances and future steps. Praise at JH, keep supporting the code to pull out the data from the ABC advanced page, this time with code for reserve and total supply. Praise at Finesto for spending around 2 hours with me before his meeting a few weeks ago discussing all things TEC and offering us the benefit of his personal wisdom concerning DeFi, automation, and treasury management. His kindness and abilities are certain to be instrumental for us throughout Sampo and the wider TE Commons. Praise Rex for practical intro tutorial on Dune queries. It was to the point and gave me the info and to begin exploring Dune for myself. Thanks for taking an hour out of your day. Praise at Bear100 for walking me through how to use Clarity and for being a leader in project management. Praise Bianca for co-hosting the Mental Health Take Care of Your Mind event. This is part of our process. So we have our praise. If you do not have your praise activated, you can always say /activate within the praise channel. These are just some of the highlights that we have for this past couple of weeks in terms of praise. This is a very important practice that we have. We want to highlight and make sure that we recognize each other's work verbally and through the praise channel. If you have any questions about it, please reach out to a steward. We can guide you through any type of praise needs. So make sure to activate your praise powers. So this is the time we say turn on your video and say cheese. This is kind of a ritual we have to make sure everybody get some images, Take a pic of the community. Woo! All right, thank you very much. And Griff, you want to take it here? Because
sure.
I need your enthusiasm, sir.
Yeah. So our vision in the TEC is to enable the creation of ethical, safe, resilient, and diverse economic systems to benefit societies around the world. Oh man, I get to do this whole rant? It's been a while, but I know it like the back of my heart. One of the most important things about the TEC is our relational fabric. We are a close-knit community, and we talk to each other, and we talk through conflicts, and we do that with the support of Wonka and the Gravity team. So Gravity is the conflict resolution part dynamic of the TEC. And if you see a problem, tell us, fill it out in the Gravity type form. A stitch in time saves 9, and that works for the relational fabric just as it does any other fabric. We have active gravitons on the right side. If you see any conflict, you can just DM them. And if you don't want to talk about it directly, you can fill out that form as Nate just showed. And let's see what we got next. Do we do advice process? I love the advice process. So advice process is huge in the TEC. This is how we stay flat. Anytime you have to make a big decision, don't just go for it, Go talk to the people who will be affected by the decisions and talk to the people who you think might be experts on the topic. If you get their advice before making the final decision, everything goes smoothly. If you forget to do this, things get hard. Yep, and of course, we have our actual DAO. What's going on in the DAO today? TEC tokens are still above $1. Everyone else's token has been crashing. While ours is like nice, stable, relatively efficient token. So that's super cool. I think you have to make sure you're on XDAI, and then it'll pop up. But yeah, so there is at least one vote in the DAO I know of, and that is the vote for reimbursing the purchase of all the TEC shirts. And I think pretty soon, if it's not up already, Transparency is going to put up their proposal. And with that, I'll throw it to the community stewards. Nate, is that you? You taking this one?
Yes, it is. Sorry. Yeah, so the Stewards working group, we meet every Wednesday. We have weekly syncs. We have 4 meetings each week, usually. We have a sprint planning, sprint retrospective, and our Stewards Council, and our Stewards Weekly. Our sprint board is, we use ZenHub here for our sprint board. Keep track of everything that goes on within the TEC. This is how we coordinate on a larger level between working groups to make sure everybody stays on point and we're accountable for our actions. If you want to see some of the things that we're trying to coordinate, this is a great place to visit. Right now, we are currently going through the transformation process. This is a big part of it. We want to radically simplify the structure here in the TEC. We want to be looking more externally rather than internally as we have been before. Trying to put some focus on the new curation service led by Sampo, which you'll learn more about in a little bit. In the new steward structure, we're going to start the nomination process for the common stewards here in the upcoming weeks. And we'll have new roles for stewards advisors and adjusting to a new pace. So this is a really important step for us. This is a kind of a period of change that we're going through, but we're going to keep moving forward with it. And we look forward to your thoughts, comments, input, advice, and support. So last but not least, we have our public service announcement. Twitter retweets are love. If you get a chance, put us into the conscious of others. We're working really hard on that. With that being said, I will pass it over to Gravity Working Group with Wonka.
Thank you, Nate. Well, in Gravity, we are trying to continue raising awareness about conflict management and how can it be managed proactively. I think our community have succeeded in that, and even though that we have our conflicts, we always sort them out in a very good way. And that's why we're also trying to provide the same knowledge and the same tooling and the same services to other communities, also to try to become more sustainable in the future and not only draw funds from the TC. And that's why that connects to the next topic, and it's that we will be submitting a new proposal first in the forum, I think next week, and for advice process, and then for gardens in 15 days. But our idea is to continue requesting support to the TEC to continue our operations and the execution of a roadmap, where we will have in our roadmap a lot of activities like continuing the same things that we've done, like the Graviton trainings, but also we want to use the proposal inverter to try to launch our own safe tokenized system, learning from the TC. So that's really cool. On other topics, if you assisted to 6 or more sessions of our past Graviton trainings, please claim this POAP. That is the official certificate of becoming a Graviton of the 3rd generation. We also had two Twitter spaces around welfare at work in Web3 that were super interesting. So you can listen to the recordings. On Wednesdays, we have our coordination call, and we're having a website narrative call with 1 hour of difference between each other. One is at 5 p.m. CT and the other one is at 7 p.m. CT. And next Friday, meaning tomorrow, we will have a second proposal drafting session. That we will be reviewing the document that we will be presenting and putting and posting in the forum, telling the TC what are our intentions and how do we want the TC to continue supporting us in our operations and in our roadmap. Besides that, we use SendHub to keep the registry of all of our cases. We are right now in case number 28. And we also use dwork to coordinate and distribute our bounties. You can request support managing conflict through our Typeform, and also you can support us through our Gitcoin grant or our Giveth project. That those are two grants and two ways that you can support our exercise. And yeah, with that, I'll pass it to Softcup. I don't know who's gonna take it.
Well, know the drill. If anybody's comfortable with taking it, please do. If not, I will be covering it here in a second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. SoftGov Working Group is dealing with governance here in the TEC. It is stewarded by Livia. They have meetings at Wednesday at 1 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. CET. They've recently gone over TEC token holder sentiment analysis with their Polis board. And so right now they've been focusing on the transformation process and what roles they play within the TEC in terms of governance, how to deal with the cultural governance through Snapshot, and what kind of things that we need to prioritize within the TEC in terms of decision making. They do a lot for us, and we're really happy to have them. Their biggest focus is on the 8 principles for governing the commons, proposed by Eleanor Ostrom. We intend to embed these within everything that we do. So clearly defined boundaries, congruence between appropriation and provision, collective choice arrangements, monitoring, graduated sanction, conflict resolution mechanisms, minimal recognition of rights to organizers, and nested enterprises. As you go through this, you will notice that these are things that are being embedded within our working groups, and we hope to see them continue to flourish. So if you're interested in these types of engagements and initiatives, SoftGov is a really great working group to engage in. So please reach out to Livia for that. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Communitas. Irene, I believe you're here.
Yes.
Like
Hi. Can you hear me? Perfect.
Sure can.
Yeah, so at Communitas, we're developing the community aspect of TEC, doing community building, and especially right now, really focusing on radical simplification in our processes and also in our Discord, just really trying to minimizing the roles and different channels just to create better navigation around. So if you have any ideas around, you may see some channels being archived right now, and if you have any ideas about other ways to just really simplify the score or make it work better for the community, let us know and come to Communitas working group Sings on Monday 7 p.m. new time. And so Edu had to leave a week ago actually, so now we are kind of navigating a new stewardless Communitas working group, which has been working pretty well so far. Just getting a lot of collaboration from different people from different working groups, and in fact that's also the structure we experimented with in our last orientation call. Just Nate and NT and Costa, just a few people really sharing the work and parts of the orientation call, passing it to each other, and creating a more dynamic kind of welcoming the newcomers. So really working on that orientation process, updating the presentation and updating the way we welcome individuals. It was originally a bot that asks a few questions to newcomers to the server, and now we just created this introduce yourself channel where we just have a message encouraging people to introduce themselves, and that will be the first step in terms of the cultural layer to become a member in TC. Just introduce yourself and join the orientation call later. So yeah, a lot of work has been going into these, and yeah, please join the orientation calls. They are bi-weekly now, alternating with this call. So if you have any time and if you want to support me and Costa, especially now we're navigating it and kind of new at this, would really appreciate your help. Anything you want to say for Outer Space badges, NTM Bear? Any updates on that, on those? Is NT or Bear here? Maybe not even. Wait, I'm not sure.
I don't think they are. Yeah.
Okay, they're not.
Yeah. If you want to, you can pass it on to the next working group, which is Sampo.
Yes, let's do that. Sample to you, Gideon.
Thanks, Idam. That was a great update, by the way. Nice job. It's cool to see so many things happening over there, and yeah, you and Costa are doing a great job. So Sample Working Group, what is it? It's the group that is focused on trying to develop the economic layer of the token engineering commons. Right now, and our meeting, we meet right before this call. So, hey, if you're around and you've got an hour before this call, come on over, stop in, check out what we're doing. So going to the next slide, I don't know who, Nate, is that you? So right now, it's all about curation. That is our focus. Pretty much like 90% of our focus is all about that. You can see the creation service, at least the front end to it. And I explained this last time we got together, but just very briefly, the way that this works is that people will come to the TEC Discord server, and there's a channel. You can see it if you scroll up just a little bit in the menu there above the community call. You can see a thing that's called knowledge sharing, and it says 20 active posts. After the call, play around with that a little bit. Basically, the way this works is people can come in and share interesting links into the forum. And the forum, this is a new feature in Discord. It just rolled out a couple weeks ago. Basically, you can, it's much better experience for having conversations within Discord, because like trying to have conversations in Discord, as we all know, is very difficult. Like it's because it's so fragmented, but they've kind of reorganized the way that works. And now like you basically have a post, and then all of the responses, comments and things like that are right below on the right-hand side. So it's much better for having conversations and keeping conversations together. So we're pretty excited about that. And we were not planning on this. So this is just like, this is Providence smiling down upon us that this happened right at this time. And so now what we're doing is we're working with some folks from DAOstack and another company called Tangible AI. They've built a bot that can then crawl through all of those emoji responses and use those emoji responses as kind of an indicator of how interesting a particular post is to the community as a whole. So we're using that as a signal, a curation signal, really. So like that will then, there's a back-end database that allows us to do like customization of the rules, the curation rules. And right now we're just keeping it very simple, but it's going to allow us to do some pretty cool things down the road. So, we're going to be doing a soft launch on this within 2 weeks. So the week after next, we're going to do a soft launch. And why do I say soft launch? I think we're still kind of like working through the outreach plans. We're getting there, but a lot of it's going to be through Twitter. We're kind of taking a two-pronged approach here. The first is kind of a general approach. Like you'll see if you look at the categories. I didn't go into the details here, but if you look in the knowledge sharing forum, you'll see that all of the topics are broken out. All the posts are broken out by various categories, and so we purposely picked some pretty broad categories like token engineering, DAOs, and that will be kind of like what we'll be trying to push just through our regular tweeting. And also like, Em is going to be, this is a great place to try to get people who are new to the community. It's like a super easy way for them to engage without having to like do a lot of hands-on like training and stuff like that. They can just come in and just start conversing and talking about this, about various people's posts, and hopefully curating it through that process by doing emoji responses. So that will be kind of the broad category, and we'll be trying to push that out. But in addition to that, we're going to try to do some category specific outreach. So we're working on some more like specialized categories. So not just token engineering, but we're looking at things like regen as one, or decentralized society as another one. Places where we think we can get some good conversation and engagement going. But then also potentially some other categories like safety, like token engineering safety might be one, ethics might be one, and tokenomics might be another one. And the reason we're looking at those ones in particular is because we've got some folks who are interested in helping us to drive engagement around that. So had a good talk with Shebnam yesterday about using this for ethics focus and maybe for Consilience Library. Had an interesting talk on Monday with the folks at DeFi Safety. They're interested in maybe collaborating with us around a safety category. And talked with the Tokenomics DAO yesterday, and they're interested in possibly helping us to do some curation around tokenomics. So this is cool. I mean, we're starting to get some excitement around this. I will stop here by just saying what we need right now from everybody is if you can lend a hand with testing this out. The forum feature is a new feature in Discord, so we're already finding some kind of like funky things about it. You know, like this is the first release. UM found like something weird today, so we're trying to do that. But we're also trying to test the back end. So we need a lot of engagement. We need people to be doing emoji responses and things like that, and sharing some content. So if you can go in, share some good links, things that you find interesting that fit into those categories, that would be super helpful. You know, basically this week and next, and then emoji stuff, you know, react to things that you like and engage in some conversation there. And let's test this thing out and make sure it's working when we do the soft launch in 2 weeks. That's it. I will, let's see, who's this going to next? Shebnam, are you here? I saw you here earlier. Yes. Awesome.
If you could just keep keep the presentation, that's faster. So thank you. The Omega Working Group meets every Wednesday, and the news we had in the past 2 weeks is, if you can go to the next, basically, is this? Or should I share? Okay, let me share. Oh, yeah. Okay, you got it. You got it. Stay. Nate is sharing. Okay, thank you, Nate. Thank you so much. So we have a new forum update that basically summarizes our insights of the past 2 years and where we're headed. So biggest insight, you can go through it later, but biggest insight is these ethical principles we have been exploring through focus groups. They point towards exploring self-sovereignty, like how do we make decisions collectively in this dynamic networks of value. So that is going to be more of a focus. Of course, the initiative, Token Engineering Consilience Library, continues. And as Gideon mentioned, it was super insightful to see, hey, we could directly provide benefit from the current creation with respect to ethics dimension, right? But then also would be interesting just to see how this curation tool could be used to help curators for the Consilience Library across Discord. So there were many interesting thoughts, and we will touch base in November, December. The design document is work in progress. And it was also insightful that with the Consilience Library, we really want to focus on the overlap and also how to navigate those overlaps. So the design vision that we have there is becoming more and more firm. We alternate these topics every week. So next week is going to be about token engineering ethics, this aspect of self-sovereignty again. And the week after that will be Consilience Library. So mark your calendars and join any session if you are interested in these topics and want to contribute. Then thanks a lot, and I give the asset.
Yes, thank you. Well, in Communications Working Group, we met every Tuesday, and on Mondays we have the Twitter and animation sync. You're very welcome to come. And in this week updates, okay, thank you. Okay, so today TEC is going to be on Sea of Hertz radio show hosted by Miguel in One Hype Discord server. It's a radio in Spanish for all the Spanish speaker community in Web3. So NT is going to be there representing TC and talking a little bit about our community, tokenomics, and all the stuff, and also some music in Spanish. In our current projects, the animation is going pretty well. There is a clip there about the quantifier video. The backgrounds are probably done and almost finished animation. And a big praise to Nate for being the narrator of this video. And also big praise to all the reward system working group for all the help that they are giving us to the team. In tour planning, we are introducing the new section Throwback Thursdays. Today it was a Griff talk in the Taoist Mexico. So remember, retweet equal love. And also I recommend you this thread that we tweet this week about the advice process. So you can understand it more, and also you can check it out the forum to know more about it. And at last, incomes, we are restructuring around Sampo's initiative creation service. We're fully aware that we need to restore confidence in comms from the community to all TC, and we are gonna work really hard on it with all our work and love, because we need to restore this confidence in the working group and all the Discord servers. So we're going to make a really good work with this. And with that, I'll pass it to transparency, to Septi.
Thanks, Asset Laser. Yeah, I'll share my screen. Okay, basically on transparency, we are meeting every 2 Mondays, so every other Monday, 5 p.m. CT. So yeah, these 2 weeks we're mostly focusing on the ABC page, which is in a good state right now. Like big praise to Rodri for the designs, Mateo for all the development, and Nagen for some backend. And also praise to Gri for sharing some feedback to keep improving the page. So actually, like when we include like Gri feedback, it will be like the first release. So yeah, basically like in this page, like all the books are fixed. So now we can type in here. Oh. Okay. And that before it was having like some books here, like it was typing. Right now, like our priority is like improve like the new mint price, like which is giving like a weird number. And it's good like Mateo and Sem are together on Bogota. Like this work seems like it's going to be a slowdown with the mandate being on Bogota. But it's good like Sem and Mateo are together, so they can also like discuss a little bit like some details to improve it. Now like the ABC, like it's showing like much better, like the price is there, this graph is actually like it was like those two together, which is impossible, and now it's like all those small details are being fixed. Yeah, super cool. Big praise to Mateo. Another thing, on transparency, we're getting back to the TC, what the TC really needs in the actual state. So actually, I'll pass this on the chat basically, and it'd be nice like if someone like everyone like take like 3-5 minutes to see signaling, just like mark with an X wherever like the decision you like from those, and it's basically like the transparency operations that are running like every month. And yeah, let's check what we want to keep doing, what doesn't make sense as today, and yeah, and have a good advice process on the community on what we want to keep running from transparency, knowing like our financial state. And we will make sure like whatever is needed to keep happening and whatever is not needed just to cut it off. So yeah, please take a minute and signal what do you think is important here. And then for the last, our proposal is up on the forums. Basically, this proposal is like to facilitate this transition for transparency and actually like finalize some like the last task we're having, and actually like retroactive funding for September. And yeah, that's it for transparency. I'll pass it to Mitch for the rewards.
Thanks. I'll stream this one, Nate. So rewards working group. We got a weekly sync happening on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central European. And let's go through some quick updates here. Rewards for round 18 is ready for review. That is up in the forum right now. Thanks to Nuggin. So you can check that out. That'll be going out probably next Monday. So you can have a look at that and see who got what. And if you want to get deeper in there, we've got the analysis from the round as well. So you can get into the nitty-gritty details of how everything went down with praise. Source code distribution is ongoing. We're almost finished. We're distributing source credit retroactive rewards in 10 bi-weekly rounds. So it's being just slowly vested out, and that is almost finished. To that point, we're asking for another top up of praise system rewards. Again, shout out to Nuggin for getting this up there. Basically explaining we're needing to top up the treasury a little bit earlier than expected due to just, in fact, the retroactive source credit rewards that we promised to do. We're looking for 21K XDAI from the gardens, and this will be used just to keep the reward system going and distributing rewards. So if you have any feedback for us, go ahead and drop it in there. Otherwise, give it a like, and it'll be going up to the gardens at the end of advice process. As Acid Laser mentioned, we got the quantifier animation video that's going to be finished pretty soon. Rex has been doing this really awesome analysis on the correlation between praise rewards and people and working group rewards, essentially. He pulls out a couple good hypotheses and goes through and pulls out some cool, interesting graphs using a Jupyter notebook. And some interesting conclusions that we probably have to think about as a community, how we want to keep dealing with rewards. So go ahead and check that out. I think he'll be publishing something more official very soon, but that's what's happening in rewards as well. And just some PSAs. If you're already not activated in the reward system, you can type /activate in the chat and you can be signed up, and we'll make sure that those rewards get to you. And another fun anecdote is looking at the top 10 praise from the last 2 weeks. I don't know if you guys can see that here. I'll make it real big. So yeah, from the last 2 weeks, top praise goes to Matteo for all the work done on the ABC Advanced page, Christopher for a demo showing the latest features in the praise dashboard, Rex for crafting the API queries for the Advanced page and the analysis work that he's doing in the TEC, Patty for the stuff she's doing in the TEA, Christopher for the rewards working group, compiling the data for missed rewards, Acid Laser for a promo page, Contessa for impacting gravity in multiple ways, Enti for hosting the first token engineering Twitter space in Spanish, and Bianca again for assisting in gravity. So that's top 10 praise, and that's the rewards for you. And I will pass it to the TEA.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Patty is here, or Angie Berger. No, okay. So yeah, the TEA, big news coming up. DevCon, Bogota, launching of the TE Fundamentals. If you have not signed up for the TE Fundamentals course, I highly suggest you do. Very exciting. This has been a long thing in the making, and TE Academy is ready to, open this course up to over 2,700 active applicants. And it's completely free, completely online. You take your time, set at your own pace. There are study groups, over 26 study groups currently. So if you're interested in learning about the TE fundamentals, joining a study group, going through it, we have study groups from 10 plus time zones, multiple languages. So find a study group that works really well for you. Get through this TE fundamentals course together over the next several months. Take the exam, get your certification. And let's really start to, celebrate everything that the TE Academy has done in this space so far, and will continue to do. So, if you get a chance to join their server, please do. They have a new TE Academy server, and please fill out their form to sign up for TE Fundamentals. Outside of that, I think that is it for a community call. And if one last thing I wanted to go over, since I didn't get a chance to, was we do have these gardens votes up right now. We have this transparency working group funding proposal and the retroactive funding for swag shop expenses. So if you get a chance to, if you have TEC tokens and you have them sitting here in the abstain, if you feel like you want to support one of these, please do so. We could really use to push these through. So please have your voice heard, rock the vote, and thank you for attending this community call. Pass it to you, Griff, if you have anything else you would like to say. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Nate.
Nate.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.